Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Saturday morning. It is November 25th, 2023. As I record this, it's almost 9 a.m. I'm meant to get on here a lot earlier. And I mean, I've been up, but time just zips away, doesn't it? Speaking of that, I'm going to go more into that in just in a minute. Also, are you feeling that familiar sense, that familiar feeling from 3 years ago? I think we're about to possibly go through that again. I'll go into that, of course. I have a very good passage that I will share towards the end of the video, straight from the book, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that. It's very compelling. If you like this video, hit the like button. It really does help us out. And of course, if you have not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing so you get notifications when I am releasing videos. All right. Time. What is time? I watched the show a while back, and I forget the name of this show. I forget now. I'm trying to remember, but it just talked about different uh, strange things, and they are based in science though, in physics. And I'm not a physicist by any means, but Morgan Freeman was the one who hosted the show, and I think I watched it on the Science Channel or Discovery Channel. But it was very interesting. And one time he had an episode on what is time. What is time? You know, and it was very interesting. And I try my best to follow it, even though he's putting it in layman's terms. But I was also watching some other videos and some other people talk about how, and I've heard it, we talk about it here sometimes, how time seems like it flies by a lot quicker than it used to. And I know people will say, well, that comes with some age, you know, and there are ways to explain that. But then I've also, somebody was commenting and talking about time. I think it was time dilation. And I looked into that. Now that seemed, I haven't made a deep dive into that. That is a big rabbit hole, and I haven't done that. I may look more in. I will look more into that because it's a very interesting topic. But it's talking about how your perception of time and how time is affected by gravity, gravitational situations, systems. And I don't. Have you looked into that? If you have, share. Because that's very interesting. And it does seem like time has started to go by a lot quicker than it used to, especially the last 3 years. We've been saying we're in the twilight zone, and it does feel that way, that we are still firmly in the twilight zone. And is that something to do with it? Like, again, I'm not a physicist, and I'm not a scientist in that fashion. So, but it does bear some thinking. All right. Also, I'm going to start posting some music in the description. So look for the links in the description. Music that Mrs. Dawg and I listen to, especially contemporary Christian, and I'll put some seasonal, some Christmas stuff in there as well. I'll also add some things that I listen to. I listen to some different stuff sometimes. 80s, love 80s music. And sometimes I'll just listen to classical if I need to relax, if I need to just chill, and just really just chill out. I listen to some classical stuff, so I'll put that in there. It's, yeah, not for everybody. Y'all might probably go to sleep to that stuff, but anyway, here we go. Here we go again. I've been reading this, and I started a report on this earlier. I've heard some little things, but I looked into it last night, and it was so late. I didn't want to do a video right then because it probably wouldn't come off good. It was kind of late. But this mystery pneumonia outbreak that is sweeping through China. China. Who would have ever guessed it'd start there? Have we heard that before? But it continues to get worse, and it's hitting children in particular, which is, I don't know. I mean, it seems evil. Let's let's go after children. I'm not saying that it's a conspiracy or anything. We'll have to see how this plays out. Maybe it's nothing really huge, but right now it's hitting children, and there are reports that a lot of children are on IVs. That this was reported in Beijing, also in some other big cities all over the eastern, looks like the eastern southern part of the country. Hospitals are overflowing with children, with the parents bringing them in and just, very worried about them. And looks like the news of this started to leak out about a week ago. Now they're saying that the doctors are just overwhelmed right now, and there's hospitals. Inflammation in the lungs with high fever seems to be the really big symptoms. Not much of a cough. Not much of a cough is what they're saying, but otherwise very flu-like symptoms. Again, inflammation in the lungs, high fever, uh, severe respiratory illnesses. Another thing that was mentioned is white lung syndrome. And says that they have, again, saying very high temperatures and develop pulmonary nodules. That sounds nasty. I want no part of that. But reports coming over across much of the country about pneumonia. Some do report a cough, but mostly none, no cough. So far as what's being reported, there have been no deaths from this so far. Average days spent in the hospital for these kids, 7 to 14 days for a child. That's alarming for sure. Is this the next thing? Is this the next big thing, the next pandemic? Is it going to move to adults? Is it just going to target children? And it always seems to start there. It just makes you wonder. It makes your mind wander to, what's going on? What's really, really, really going on? Is this natural? The timing of it? Let's think about the timing of it. We're almost into 2024. What happens in 2024? It just feels very familiar. It's a very familiar feeling, isn't it? Kind of like that feeling we felt about 3 years ago or so. It was about this time of the year too, wasn't it? I know. The way travel is worldwide nowadays, this is probably has been already here. And I know there was a comment or two. I know there was at least one comment from my video from yesterday from one of you that said that you had a pneumonia and it knocked you down for a good 2 weeks. And it was a lot worse than any uh, COVID or anything like that you've ever had. And healthy, you're healthy and don't get viruses, but then this knocked you guys down. It knocked you and some other family members down. And it was a mystery pneumonia. The doctors, they just said we can't explain this. And that was here, United States. I don't know what state that was in, if they mentioned it, but uh, this bears looking at, or following at least. Definitely going to keep an eye on this nugget because, again, it just feels very familiar. I will say, if this starts to become something big, remember, don't forget, remember what we went through. Remember this, how your rulers reacted to this and what they tried to do and what they did, what they did accomplish on people. And just remember, just stand firm now. Stand firm. All right. We will not go wobbly. All right. Dogs too. I saw something about dogs that's sweeping the United States. Looks like it started maybe in Ohio. Uh, like a respiratory issue with dogs. Don't mess with my dog, man. You mess with my dog, that's it. That's more than fighting words. That's something, messing with dogs. What in the world is going on, y'all? What in the world? But it was some kind of respiratory illness. It's hard to find a lot of details on it, but Keeping an eye on that one. It was just saying keep your dogs isolated. That sounds familiar. Don't go to the dog park and mingle with other dogs for a while just to see what see what this is about. We don't do that often anyway, but still, what the world? Share your thoughts on this thing. Also, just this kind of another update I saw where we have hostages being released from Hamas into Israel. This happened yesterday. This is supposed to go on for about 3 more days, a ceasefire where they're supposed to release about 50 hostages that they've been holding now for what, gosh, over a month and a half or so. And in exchange, it sounds like Israel's going to release about 150 Palestinian folks, or call themselves Palestinians, Gaza, from that area. A little lopsided, yes. But yeah, I saw some footage yesterday on video where it did show 3 sets of mother and daughters being released into Israel. That was good to see. Hopefully they get as many, at least 50 out of there. No Americans so far, you know. Mm. Yep. Not surprised at that. We'll see if any are released on this round, or in the next few days. I did see a thing too where Israel said that this is just a ceasefire. They are going to return to hostilities after this is done. I believe I take their word on that. I think they're gonna keep going. I believe they have the mission and they're gonna continue it until it is accomplished, and I think they will. Uh, they're probably going to go ahead and push through the southern part of Gaza and do some eradication, some pest control. All right, I'm sure I'll get comments and emails on that one. I'm sure. Bring it on at this point. Hey, it goes with the territory, right? It does. All right, I'm going to get to the passage. I may or may not have already covered this one recently. I can't remember. Maybe part of that time dilation thing. I don't know. But even if I did, it bears repeating. Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, chapter 64, verse 4 says, "Since ancient times no one has heard, no ear has perceived, no eye has seen any God besides you, who acts on behalf of those who wait for him." On behalf of those who wait for him. That's the tough part, isn't it? Waiting. Because we're impatient as humans. We want things instantly because we're used to just instant stuff, right? We're used to just clicking, clicking, however you want to say it, onto our computers and having it instantly, having information, having an answer right away. I gotta go. I gotta know right now. I gotta know. I gotta go right now. I gotta know right now. But we have to wait, and that is not easy. You may not get your answer. You may not get it till, I don't know, years, next week, tomorrow. But we are called to wait, and that's what we're going to do, and be faithful and keep the communication going. Keep in prayer, keep in walk with God. Let's be as much as we can like Jesus, the example, the light, right? All right. Share your thoughts again. We're still getting through this weekend of a holiday. Be aware, be safe out there. God bless you. I'll see you soon.